Tenemos una conexión con Estados Unidos, con Nueva York, con Oanda, con su Senior Market Analyst, Edward Moya. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
We have a question now in Spain, in Europe, about young people, how they are investing. GameStop, the most important movement. We could see yesterday how Elon Musk, they put this tweet and all the people, all the young people started to invest. This is a new way to invest to young people.
Yes, very much so. And I think right now what we're seeing is that there's a war going on, and it's between the new young retail trader against the giant hedge fund or short seller. And in the past, we would always see the retail trader would lose. But right now, the millennials, the younger population, they're the largest generation. And they are opening up so many small positions. They're forcing these giant short sellers to abandon their bearish bets. And what we're seeing is these new traders are not going to trade off of any fundamental values or tracking any earnings or profit forecasts. No, they're just going off of Reddit, they're going off of TikTok or YouTube, and they're just finding a strong belief that they have enough traders behind them to deliver a significant momentum trade, which is going to deliver some outlandish moves.
Are there in Mexico, José Ricardo Rangel? Good morning for you, José Ricardo.
If you wish, can we talk in Spanish or whatever that you want?
We are talking in English with Edward Moya. If you would ask Edward about young people, about how they are investing around this GameStop. Do you want to ask, José Ricardo?
Yeah, yes. For example, in Mexico, we grew 400% the bills in the financial markets in the stocks exchange, and that reflects an great appetite for the young people, for the investors. In 1 year, in the first quarter of 2019, and it reflects this growth in the first quarter in 1 year. This one for, but Edward, can we see the real analysis for these young people, Edward?
Well, I think right now what we're seeing is most of these young individuals, they're just looking for some opportunities that they think there is going to be some retribution to pay for some of the larger Wall Street institutions. Right now, I think what we're seeing is this all started during the COVID-19 pandemic, and I think what we saw was we had many new traders that just fell in love with the Teslas and NEOs and Apples and Amazons and these stay-at-home stocks. And what transitioned over these last couple of several months is that every time we would see stimulus checks get provided by the government, those for a lot of traders just went straight into these stock market picks. And I think most of the financial community in the past was strictly focused on Bloomberg, Reuters, getting their information from these reputable news organizations. And now the new trader doesn't necessarily pay for cable TV. They get all their information off these message boards. And right now, Reddit is providing a lot of information. And I think what you're seeing too is there's a lot of momentum behind these trades because you're having some of these quant funds that they see the opportunity and they're just providing added firepower to these exaggerated moves. A GameStop is trading well above 300 right now, and when you look at all the fundamentals, really on paper, based off of earnings and future revenue expectations, they should be around $10 or $20 at most. So I think you're seeing this is all just an exaggerated move. But right now, there's just still fresh money coming into this, and you're having big high-profile traders or CEOs or billionaires that are jumping on this. Elon Musk, you have other CEOs that are placing huge bets, and that's why we're seeing just the market really act irrational.
Edward, social networks are more powerful now than media there in United States now for young people.
Well, right now, social media, I think the platforms, that's where a lot of them are getting their information. I think the old belief of as far as finding a good company with a strong balance sheet, steady revenue growth, that's taken a back seat. I think eventually you're going to see that, though, in order to be a successful investor, you really need to be able to have lots of long-term trades that you're going to be able to let grow down the road. And I think that this is really, I think, kind of a high-stakes gambling mentality, which is likely to be short-lived. So I think that eventually you're going to see the markets kind of react and adapt. And you're also seeing these brokerages are placing some restrictions on trading. TD Ameritrade announced they were going to restrict some of the trades going into GameStop and AMC and some of these big movers that we've seen. So I think eventually we're going to see a return to normalcy. But right now, it's unclear exactly how much longer this will last.
What do you think that it could be in GameStop in the short term?
Well, I think it's very interesting because as an active trader for much of the past 2 decades, I've seen so many volatile swings, and most of my news, I would follow these companies, follow their earnings releases, follow the interviews with CEOs, and right now, I mean, like if you go on Reddit, you're seeing new traders that are saying like I'm holding on to GameStop until it hits 1,000. You're seeing all these early investors in GameStop, they don't even know what to do. I was very surprised to find out this morning that a lot of the early investors have not yet cashed out. So I think eventually you're going to see there's going to come a tipping point where you're going to have this come crashing back down to earth. But right now, I think you've had the big short sellers, Citron and Melvin Capital, they've abandoned their short bets. So I think once it's believed, because there is some skepticism that they've completely unwound those short positions. But once that is, I think, confirmed, you're going to start to see there's going to be a loss of interest as far as keeping this move going. Because I think eventually this new retail trader is going to get bored with GameStop. And once we're not seeing the skyrocketing move continue, they're just going to move on to something else.
Jose Ricardo, do you have another question for Edward?
Yes. What's your opinion about the access to these big tools, the options and the short seller options for these young people? Is they are prepared to this access to have a real impact in the stock?
And I think that's a great point that you mentioned. Right now, a lot of this is based off of option volatility, and what's happening is they're buying out a lot of these out of the money calls, which if you're a market maker, you don't want to carry a naked option, so you're forcing these market makers, these brokerages, to buy GameStop to protect their positions. So what's happening is that there's just normally in normal times, what would happen is eventually, you would see enough selling pressure come in to squeeze out or to make those options go worthless. But right now, and this is why you're seeing these brokers provide some restrictions. So I think eventually, the Wall Street is not going to let this retail trader win. So you're going to see some tighter conditions put in place. So I would be surprised if this is allowed to keep on happening. In the short term, right now, we take a look. these short sellers have lost on paper. It was around $5 billion. This is ridiculous for GameStop, because when you take a look at their market cap, it's well above what the company is even worth. So I think you're going to probably see this is it's going to take some time for some of these regulations to kick in and to be agreed upon. But I can't imagine these market makers really just allowing the retail trader, this new retail trader, to continue to behave like this.
Edward, thanks a lot for have this time with us. It's a pleasure here from Spain.
Thank you so much.